Good morning, everybody. Today on the channel, we are going to do something that we've been meaning to doing for almost 20 years. And the last time I really did anything on the car was like 6 years ago. So what we have here is we have my 1965 Mustang Fastback. We have unearthed it from the garage back there. 289 black, and like I said, it's a fastback. We've got it up on the car dolly. We are going to take it to work, and we are finally going to replace the front subframe on this car. This car, better known as the Rustang, as you can see right here, this is why it needs a front subframe. The subframe is just completely gone, even all the way back here. There's the front suspension. Now this gives you a good shot of the front suspension. Here's the coil spring. There's the shock absorber. This is the spring saddle here that is removable. There's the upper control arm, lower control arm, outer tie rod end. Well, anyway, this is the Rustang. There's other videos on the channel, so go check the other videos out. This side is not as bad as that side, but still getting kind of bad. This car, I started to work on it. The rear rails were rotted out. So the trunk floors, the rear rails have all been done. And then we did the floor pans up to the front floorboards here, up to about right there. So let me show you. I don't think I'll cut the camera off. We'll just go ahead and walk on down there. Let me cover this back up. The nosy neighbors, don't need them to be looking. So I guess it was about 10 years ago, maybe even 15 years ago, my brother and I went to the Mustang junkyard, and we cut a car in half and brought it home for the subframe. So I have got the subframe all stripped down and it's ready to go. It's been sitting back here. Here it is. Here, this really gives you a good picture. I'll go over all this before we install it, but here's the rails that fit underneath the passenger and driver's seat there. And then this is the transmission hump where the transmission mount bolts in there and there. Here's the shock tower I just showed you. There's the front rail that was all rotted out. This is the passenger side. The control arm bolts into these two holes. I haven't decided if I'm going to do the Shelby drop on this or not, trying to figure it out. But I have done a little bit of repair on this. It had a hole here, and right here it was blown out. Unfortunately, Ford did not take and drill any holes here to let water out or to let the crap from the road. So stuff from the road sat in here and kind of rotted the top of this out, but I put a piece of angle iron in and welded that in. There's another spot right there that I repaired, but this front end is in really good shape. Somebody obviously towed the car. You can see this weld right there. Somebody towed this car and put a hook in here and ripped that, so I welded that up. I'll finish fixing that when we get it out here. But this thing's pretty light. See, I can move it around. There's the hood, one of the mini hoods we have. So we have to get this out. We'll nice brake hose, huh? We'll go ahead and pressure wash this off, clean it up, and get ready for the installation. So basically all it is the under rails here is spot welded to the floor, and then this piece is spot welded to the firewall, and then there's nothing here, and then this is spot welded to the firewall. It should be fairly easy to do. We just need to get it done. I have a empty bay with no rack for a month that I can use to get this done. I think I can get it done. The motor's still in the car, but G Junior has taken the motor almost completely unbolted, so it's ready to come out. And when we bought this thing, you know, we cut the car in half. We cut the car like right here in half. So we got the firewall and a lot of the parts. So it took me a while to get this cut down. I'm still trying to figure out, you see this ring right here? Something, I don't know where that came from. It looks like something was sitting on the frame when they were working on it at the factory. It's the only thing I can think of, because this is actually up. It's supposed to be sitting, you know, like that in the car. I have no idea what that is. It looks like an oil can was sitting on this frame, maybe at the factory when they were assembling it. I have no idea. It's just really, really, really weird. But this is actually out of a 64.5 Mustang that was in the junkyard. It had gotten hit on the passenger side, but this survived, and you can see it was that burgundy color. But this is what we're going to put back in. I know people are going to say, why aren't you putting a Mustang front suspension in? Buy a couple new rails and weld them in and do that. I don't want to go through all that. I want to put this thing back together stock. The car is a rusty car. It'll always be a rusty car. So we want to keep it as long as we can. We want to put it back together to have fun with it. There's the exhaust system. We took the exhaust off. It has some type of little turbo mufflers on it. They still look like they're in pretty good shape. I guess the boy was trying to get it apart there. You ain't getting that apart without a torch. Oh, there's a Troy-Bilt lawn tractor. There's plenty of videos on the Troy-Bilt lawn tractor. There's a new seat, brand new video up on that. So we've got a lot of things going on here at the channel. We're going to be working on the 65 Mustang. We had to clean up the garage. We had it in here on jack stands, and we had to move a bunch of stuff around to get it out of here. Had it on jack stands in the back, and had it on we had it on ramps in the back and jack stands in front. We were going to try to do it in here, but it was just too cramped. The gravel, the car kept shifting around. When we got the car out, the car actually rolled backwards and hit my toolbox, put a dent right there, and knocked my toolbox over. As you see, we just threw everything up. There's probably still tools laying down. Yeah, see, it took out my toolbox and knocked my toolbox over. Luckily, there's a bunch of cardboard there that we had sitting in front of this box, so when the box fell over, it actually doesn't look like it did any damage to the front except for that little tiny dent, and now we have a bunch of reorganizing to do. Let's see. I also have a bunch of parts for the car. I have some front brake spindles, some disc brake front spindles off a Granada Maverick, but I don't think we're going to use those yet. We already put the there it is. There's the back half of the car. We already took and scavenged some parts for this car, which is pretty cool. Where did we put them? We put them in the back? No, we did not put them in the back. We have new drums, used drums, but they were like brand new. One of our mini Mustang friends, actually, I think, did we set them inside the car? Where are they? Over there in those bags, there are front spindles with brand new brakes and brand new hardware and brand new wheel cylinders. The control arms and everything are not any good, but we bought all this extra parts because he actually did do a Mustang 2 front suspension conversion kit. I thought I had pulled one of them, yeah, out of the box. Here we go. So yeah, so right there, brand new brake shoes, brand new wheel cylinders, brand new hardware kits, brand new brake shoes, the control arms, the saddles, you know, they probably need ball joints. I know one of them, yeah, this bushing here is bad. These bushings are a pain in the butt to put in. We were able to buy brand new upper and lower control arms for $185. So we went ahead and did that. You can see in here too that the floors, I've already replaced the floors in the car. This is a replacement floor. Yeah, it's getting a little crusty. Oh, looks like I did weld this one in. I know on that side over there, by the time I got that side done, I had realized that we're gonna have to do the front end. So I didn't weld the rail in, so we're gonna have to cut this rail out. That rail goes right here, and I have spot weld, so we're gonna have to get in here and grind all that out. There's the back. Here's the original. I saved this. This is the rear spring shackle on the rear of the car, and that's what's left. That was what was left of the frame back in the very back. Pretty nasty. This car came out of Detroit. The car had been restored in California. They did a really, look at this. They bonded the seams up in the doors. This car, after it was restored, probably was a hell of a looker. And of course, somebody didn't like it, and they keyed the hell out of it. I don't know if that's coming out, but right here, somebody keyed the hell out of it. This car was probably a looker when it was first restored in California. But then the guy moved to Detroit, and they didn't have it undercoated at all. So everything just rotted away. So this is the project. I hope you join the channel. It's the
Alrighty, I don't know what happened. The GoPro must have shut off before I was done with the video. So anyway, so there's going to be a lot more on the 65 Fastback. We're going to bring it up to work, cut that front end off, and get the new front end put on with some new parts and try to get it all back together. There'll be some engine videos on it, so stay tuned to the channel. Always, please subscribe. You can always subscribe down in that corner there. Please give me a thumbs up if you like my automotive videos, and I'm going to try to make a playlist on the Mustang.